Newsfirst at 9. Headlines.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime News at 9. Coming to you live from the Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. I'm Stephanie Lazarus and here are your headlines. Strike action by the cardiovascular perfusionist continues. Surgeries at 4 key hospitals suspended. Price of rice soars beyond the stipulated price. Ukraine on high alert, gunmen seize buildings. Newsfirst International Desk has more on that. And let's now cross over to our main news desk where Mahina Bonzo and Shine Rampathy are standing by with all the news.
Well, thank you very much, Stephanie. Well, I'm Shahin Durangpati.
I'm Mahina Bonzo. We start off with a look at your top story for this evening. Well, here's a story that we've been following extensively on Newsfirst. The strike action launched by the cardiovascular perfusionists has forced open heart surgeries and bypass surgeries at 4 key hospitals to come to a standstill. Hospital authorities said that there are around 6,000 patients in the waiting list for open heart surgeries.
The cardiovascular perfusionists are staging the strike, demanding the removal of salary anomalies and payment of a risk allowance as well as a permanent overtime allowance based on seniority. A total of 33 cardiovascular perfusionists serve at the Colombo National Hospital, the Kandy General Hospital, the Karapitia Teaching Hospital and the Lady Ridgeway Hospital for Children.
The strike action launched by the cardiovascular perfusionists is in effect at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital for Children. As a result, 4 open heart surgeries scheduled for yesterday were postponed. I was not informed of this officially. They say that they are not working today. Child patients are not like any other patients. If we fail on one day, the entire surgery will have to be postponed. Even though there is a waiting list, the patient needs to be sent into surgery within a week. We need to accommodate it.
4 heart surgeries that were scheduled to be performed at the National Hospital in Colombo yesterday were postponed. However, Director of the National Hospital in Colombo said that critical patients will be subjected to surgery without having them in a waiting list. Around 20 surgeries are being postponed on a daily basis at these hospitals as a result of the strike action. The surgeries of the new additions to the waiting list will also be postponed.
This strike action is our final call. We have discussed this issue through dialogue. We informed the Ministry of Health about this strike action about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Please take steps to issue a circular and provide us with the allowance.
Newsfirst inquired from the Secretary to the Ministry of Health regarding this matter on our Primetime Sunrise Bulletin this morning.
One of the 3 requests cannot be provided with the mere consent of the Minister. That needs to be addressed by the National Salaries Commission, the Department of Management and the Treasury. Certain things need to be approved by the Ministry of State Administration. Yesterday, we were informed that the Treasury had decided to transform providing the emergency allowance as an overtime system. They will inform the Ministry of State Administration first and inform us later. Then I believe this strike action would be stopped.
The Conservative Party raised a question as to why the UK government is already working to influence the United Nations Human Rights Council to call for international inquiry on Sri Lanka, while Prime Minister David Cameron had said that he would allow Sri Lanka until March to begin credible investigations into alleged human rights violations. The question was raised by Conservative Party Lord Nesby during his contribution at Question Time at the House of Lords yesterday.
The Minister has said in relation to the appalling human rights record in Sri Lanka. Is it not therefore rather strange that the President of Sri Lanka has been invited to participate in the ceremony in Glasgow Cathedral at the end of the Commonwealth Games to commemorate the start of World War I? Would it not be wise to reconsider this invitation, as many organisations in Scotland are already asking?
And can of course acknowledge that there has been some progress in relation to matters, in relation to demining, in relation to some resettlement and some economic progress. I don't feel that completely disengaging from governments is the right way in which to move them forward, and I think at this stage, I wasn't aware of that particular invitation, but at this stage I do feel that constructive engagement is the right way forward.
The The human-elephant conflict is a topic that is frequently heard of. In every story that centers on the human-elephant conflict, either of the species fall victim to the incident. However, an unprecedented incident was witnessed in Adalachene, Ampara today.
The body was retrieved from Pallakadu, Adalachene of the Ampara area this afternoon. The police believe that the individual would have died after being electrocuted when setting out to hunt. Our correspondent said that a firearm was found close to the body of the deceased. Meanwhile, a dead elephant was found with stab wounds around 200 meters from the body of the 49-year-old individual. Veterinarian Nihal Pushpakumar stated that the elephant died after being electrocuted. The police say that power cables are drawn illegally by area residents to hunt for animals.
However, our correspondent in the area said that there were no signs of electric fences being erected in the area.
We're moving on to a quick look at a sports story. The Sri Lanka Under-19 team were defeated by the Afghanistan Under-19 team in the match played to decide the 7th place of the Under-19 Cricket World Cup. Sri Lanka Under-19 batting first could only post 114 runs on the board, and the Afghans won the game by 5 wickets. Sri Lanka Under-19 thereby were placed 8th in the table. Moving back to local news, a number of popular personalities come forward to contest the upcoming provincial council polls through various parties. Among them are the children of incumbent and former government ministers. Let's have a look at some of the views expressed by such personalities.
We enter the victorious path. We reach this victorious path together with the strength of the minister and the youth. When others cannot bear this, they attack us. We too have expectations as youth. We too get angered. However, we need to control this. As a person who follows the Buddhist philosophy, I do not envy anyone.
In the recent past, we have been with you. Though I did not hold a position for the past 4-5 years in the provincial council, I never evaded from the challenges. We engaged in politics in the Mathago district. We always had challenges, yet we were able to work with you. Therefore, I request that this time, when you are casting your vote, vote for the suitable team.
My friends, there is no one who can paste a poster in the villages for the UNP, let alone be paid to paste a poster. There is no one to even raise a flag for them or host an election meeting. The United National Party is bankrupt in such a way.
Even a provincial councillor dislikes to contest from the United National Party. Such a fate has befallen the United National Party. Back then in 1993, my father together with the president created a provincial council not to give the power of the south back to the UNP. That needs to be made clear.
I did not come forward to make major changes with major ideas. Everyone is working fully aware of the political characteristics of Minister Kumara Velgama. I request that everyone who wishes to serve the public in humanity to join hands with me.
During all elections, candidates reached out to you and distributed a number of things. They continue to do it. They distributed coconuts, rice, dal, roofing sheets, and also money. However, my father did not distribute anything amongst anyone. He only had his good heart to give. That is what I also have. One of the fundamental rights in the Constitution is the right to vote. We are not prepared to auction off the people's right to vote. What I say is that we need a new form of politics. Intelligent persons need to enter politics. I say this all the time. However, when the intelligent enter politics, they do not receive the people's votes. They vote for the same group and send them through. When I get onto a stage, they all say that there is the daughter of Jeevan Kumar Thunga. I told him recently that if he goes somewhere in the future, they would say, there comes the father of Malcha Kumar Thunga.
A public rally organized by the Democratic Party was held in the Gonapilua area in Hikkadua. The event was held under the auspices of Democratic Party leader Sarath Fonseca.
We did not try to engage in politics with stalwarts because we did not want to be infected by their fleas. We undertook this path to make sacrifices on behalf of the people and the country. We may be jailed on numerous occasions. We may be shot at, similar to incidents that transpired in Ratapaswala, Katunayaka and Chilau. But we will not stop our journey.
This government spoke about creating miracles. Where is this government now? They use the hard-earned foreign exchange of our migrant workers and they boast. They speak about a miracle, however the government has no proper plan to bring in foreign exchange.
The new manifesto of the Janata Vimukta Peramuna was presented to the Mahanayaka Thero of the Askari chapter today.
Leader of the JVP, Anurukumara Disanayaka, met with the Mahanayaka Thero of the Askari chapter, Most Venerable Udugama Sri Buddha Rakita Thero, and presented the new manifesto to him. International Affairs Secretary of the JVP, Somawangsa Amarasinghe, was also present at the occasion.
Attorney at law Maitri Gunaratna charges that the UMP leadership has taken steps to nominate thugs for the upcoming provincial council elections over party faithfuls. He made these allegations at a media briefing held in Katalua, Gaul today.
We still stand for the UNP even though we were chased out of the party. We cannot wholeheartedly say to cast your votes for a different party. But what has this party done? What has Tissa Attanayaka and Ranil Wickramasinghe or the Leadership Council said? Nominations are given to thugs and robbers. They were fully aware of their backgrounds. Public trust in the Leadership Council and the leader has deteriorated. This is the reason why majority of the UNP supporters wouldn't even go to a polling station to cast their vote and cast their votes to other parties. We have to state clearly that the party will only raise its head once again when the leader and the Leadership Council are removed.
Meanwhile, United National Party parliamentarian Sajid Premadasa expressed his views on how pension anomalies could be removed at a rally held in Agunukola Palace today.
The event was held in the Uswava area in Agunukola Palace under the patronage of UNP parliamentarian Sajid Premadasa.
I would clearly like to say to the present government that a luxury housing scheme will commence shortly for 225 parliamentarians. This will include swimming pools, gymnasiums, cafeterias as well as playgrounds. I request to stop this immediately and to distribute these funds among the pensioners of the country. I request the government to work towards removing pension anomalies.
United National Party candidate for the Colombo district, S.M. Marikar, addressing a public meeting in Boralla yesterday, questioned the need for a government which cannot fulfill the needs of the people.
This meeting was organized by Colombo Municipal Councillor Premajayantha Kasturiarachi.
When you take children to the school, there are no teachers to educate them. The children do not have tables and chairs in the schools. Drug peddlers are targeting areas around schools in Colombo. There are demons ready to eat up your child. Moreover, you will have to sleep at night in hunger. Therefore, if a government cannot provide education to children, if a government cannot create an economy that will fulfill the people's needs, and if a government cannot develop the health sector and make it free for the people, should there be a government like this?
Well, today is day 8 of the Diet-Killer National Development Exhibition and was dedicated for the media.
The exhibition spans across 162 acres, including the grounds of the Northwestern University, Technical College and the Kuliyapitiya Central College. The exhibition, which features many stalls from different sectors, will conclude on Saturday. Visitors of the Diet-Killer exhibition can also visit the Newsfirst mobile studios that has been set up at the Asidesi Media Zone. Those who arrive at the Newsfirst mobile studio and activate the Newsfirst mobile alert service will be presented with a Newsfirst cap logo. A new system that could access criminal records instantly was introduced at the Diet-Killer National Trade Exhibition today. The event was held under the auspices of Secretary of Defence Gotabaya Rajapaksa. This machine was a creation of the Software Development Unit of the Colombo University School of Computing.
The international community continues to level allegations and wants us to seek assistance on good governance. We will show them that we do not need it. We will also show the international community of our capabilities at a much higher standard. We have experts who can show what good governance is. We are a community where we can compare our persons with anyone in the international community.
Yet
another robbery took place in Kasbah, Piliandala last morning. Newsfirst reporter Prabhat Gunaratna sent us the following CCTV footage on how the incident unfolded.
The Piliandala police confirmed that a complaint has been lodged with regard to the robbery. If you know him, you could inform the following numbers. Newsfirst hotline 0114 896 896. Piliandala Police Hotline 0112 614 258. The numbers once again, the Newsfirst Hotline 0114 896 896. Police Hotline 0112 614 258.
Hindu devotees the world over celebrate Mahasivaratri today, giving priority to religious observances. According to Hindu legend, Mahasivaratri marks the day on which Lord Shiva proved that he was the strongest god among all other gods. Hindu beliefs speak of a dispute which arose between Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma over who the strongest god was, and it is during this moment that Lord Shiva had intervened and produced a great beam of light which bridged the expanse between earth and the sky. Lord Shiva had spoken to the two gods and told them that whoever is capable of finding the two corners of the beam of light will be the strongest god. Thereby, Lord Vishnu transformed into a swine and began digging in search of one corner of the beam of light, while Lord Brahma transformed into a swan and flew off into the sky in search of the other corner. However, both gods were unable to find the corners, and they accepted Lord Shiva as the most powerful god. Hindu devotees the world over celebrate this day in remembrance of Lord Shiva and this historic occasion. Devotees engage in religious observances from tonight till tomorrow morning to celebrate this occasion. President Mahinda Rajapaksa, issuing a message in view of the Hindu festival Mahasivaratri, states that the Hindus of Sri Lanka have lived for centuries in brotherhood and harmony with the followers of other religions in our society. The President adds that the prayers of Mahasivaratri may strengthen the commitment to peace and unity among all communities in our motherland.
A free medical camp organized by the AJM Muzammil Foundation took place in Colombo today.
The medical camp included a free clinic, while spectacles were also distributed among low-income earners. Incumbent chairman of the Muzammil Foundation, Feroza Muzammil, was also present at the event.
working committee
Mangala Samaravira, speaking at the working committee, stated that we cannot win this election. Then why couldn't we include her in the nomination list so that we could have a fighting chance in this election we are bound to lose? They don't think of the party, they only think about themselves. They leveled various allegations at me. I am a UNP mayor. I work for the people of Colombo. I will not join the government. I will remain in the UNP and I will fight until we are able to chase away these individuals who are destroying the party.
On Business News tonight, the price of rice has increased beyond the government control. Prices stipulated by the government rather. Now, according to official government data, a kilogram of sambar, which should be sold at a price of 70 rupees, is currently 78 rupees.
According to the Special Gazette Notification of 2009 March 18th, in accordance with the Consumer Affairs Authority Act, the maximum retail price of a kilogram of rice is set by the government. Therefore, except for Kiri and Suduru sambar rice, the maximum retail price of 1 kilogram of sambar rice devoid of any stones and sand is 70 rupees. The maximum retail price of a kilogram of nadu or red rice is 60 rupees. However, according to the latest data from the Department of Census and Statistics, the price of a kilogram of samba in the market has increased to 78 rupees. Meanwhile, the data shows a kilogram of nadu rice has increased to 67 rupees, while a kilogram of red rice retails between 66 and 68 rupees.
In more local news, Air Force Commander Air Marshal Harsha Abevikrama retired from his position today. A special event was held in lieu of his resignation at the Air Force headquarters today.
Harsha Abevikrama was welcomed to the Air Force headquarters by high-ranking officials. A guard of honor was accorded to outgoing Air Force Commander. Subsequently, Harsha Abevikrama addressed high-ranking officials at the event.
I'm overjoyed today as I have been able to take our Air Force to a better place than I imagined. An almost unbelievable improvement was made in the Air Force in the duration of that year with the support of every member of the Air Force. I take this opportunity to thank His Excellency the President and the Defence Secretary for their massive support towards the Air Force.
The Air Force commander, who bid farewell to the officers, then presented the officials' scepter to his successor, Air Vice Marshal Kolita Gunathilaka.
NASA's Kepler mission announced yesterday the discovery of 715 new planets. According to NASA's newly verified, worlds orbit 305 stars, revealing multiple planet systems which like our own solar system.
Launched in March 2009, Kepler is the first NASA mission to find potentially habitable Earth-sized planets. The research team at the mission used a technique called verification by multiplicity and has observed over 150,000 stars. Of the 150,000 stars, the Kepler mission has found a few thousand of those to have planet candidates, and if the planet candidates were randomly distributed among Kepler stars, only a handful would have more than one planet candidate. However, Kepler observed hundreds of stars that have multiple planet candidates. Through a careful study of this sample, the new 715 planets were verified. NASA says that this method can be linked to the behavior of lions and lionesses. These newly verified worlds consist of 305 stars.
The multi-planets themselves are very, very valuable. As I mentioned, they're great for demographic studies because we have a wide variety of planets that cover a wide variety of characteristics, from sub-Earth to Jupiter-sized, short periods and long periods. And many of these would not be able to be verified from other techniques such as rate of velocities. And of course, the planets are telling us something about planet formation and systems. And that's through observing that the planetary systems are flat with circular orbits and relatively small. So when I tell you those three characteristics, it's like, that reminds me of something, and that's home. So it's kind of interesting to look at the Kepler data set and see almost scaled down versions of our solar system.
According to NASA, nearly 95% of these planets are smaller than Neptune, which is almost 4 times the size of Earth. 4 of these new planets are lesser than 2.5 times of the size of Earth and orbit in their Sun's habitable zone, defined as the range of distance from a star where the surface temperature of an orbiting planet may be suitable for life-giving liquid water. One of these new habitable zone planets, called Kepler 296f, orbits a star half the size and 5% as bright as our Sun.
Let's now take a look at a story filed by Newsfirst U reporter Roshan Kumara from Kantale.
A motor accident occurred at junction 93 at 9 p.m. in Kantale yesterday. An individual inside a tipper stepped out of it and was run over by a vehicle. The Kantale police is conducting investigations into the incident.
Welcome back to the news. Now suppose you've never tried climbing a mountain before, but your interest may have been aroused. Maybe you've heard stories from your friends or saw pictures, but would one take the risk of climbing the tallest mountain in the world?
This brave man is gearing up to go find it out himself. Newsfirst Florin Rajendran reports.
A man at work. Elmo Francis, the eldest in a family of 4, always had a deep yearning for adventure. However, at first glance, he might look like an ordinary individual trying to lose weight at the age of 37. I caught up with Elmo to find out.
Going on my 4th expedition to climb Everest to the North Col and pushing it up to 8,000 meters.
An avid nature lover and water sports enthusiast, Elmo began exploring local peaks such as Knuckles and Adams Peak, and his first expedition to the Himalayas in 2001 trekked to the Amanadablam base camp at an altitude of 5,700 meters. 5 years later, in 2006, Elmo Francis became the first Sri Lankan to reach the summit of Mera Peak, which stands at 6,654 meters, the highest of all trekking peaks in the Himalayas. The mountain he had set his sights on this time was Mount Everest. Preparing for the expedition is no easy task, says Elmo, with a grin on his face.
There are many other elements that work around you, like for example, your body has to be acclimatized well. So you have something called AMS, acute mountain sickness. So if you neglect it, it goes into something called HAPC, high altitude pulmonary edema. If you neglect that, it goes into high altitude cerebral edema, where your brain swells and then you don't know what you're doing, and so you need to be absolutely focused, because there is so much out there. Go out, explore, challenge yourself, because that's where you are learning to self-discover.
The cause of the expedition is to promote awareness on sustainability and climate change and set a new Sri Lankan altitude record and bid for 7,500 meters. Florin Rajendran, Newsfirst, Colombo.
Also trending on our website www.newsfirst.lk, 3 men have been arrested over the kidnapping of a Sri Lankan woman in Malaysia.
Log on to our website for more on this story and other stories that we are following right here on Newsfirst. Moving on to some sports news now, the AFP reports that special tribunal convicted one of the owners of the Dhaka Gladiators on Wednesday of match fixing in the tainted Bangladesh Premier League, while 3 international cricketers pleaded guilty in the 2013 scandal. New Zealand cricketer Lou Vincent and former Bangladesh captain Mohammad Ashraful all admitted guilt over their roles in the scandal.
Well, on to more cricket news. Afghanistan, one of the youngest teams in the world cricket, are taking on powerhouse cricketing nation Pakistan in the 3rd match of the Asia Cup, currently underway in Fatullah. Afghanistan captain Mohammad Nabi won the toss and decided to field first. Afghanistan, playing a one-day international after 2013, proved too strong to the Pakistani batsmen, and their opponents were kept struggling on most overs. Incidentally, skipper Misbah al-Haq was dismissed in a mix-up between the wickets for a duck, while big-hitting Shahid Afridi was sent back to the pavilion for 6 runs. Umar Akmal stood his ground against the Afghan bowling attack by scoring an unbeaten century, which steered Pakistan to 248 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in their allotted 50 overs. Dawlat Zadran, Mirawiz Ashraf and Samiullah Shanwari bagged 2 wickets each for Afghanistan.
Who is gone?
Chasing 249 to win, Afghanistan got off to a brilliant start with some fabulous drives at the boundary. However, the inexperienced Afghan batting lineup eventually crumbled with the introduction of spin. Afghanistan were bowled off for 176 runs in 48 overs. Mohammad Hafiz bagged 3 wickets while Saeed Ajmal picked up 2.
A good comeback by the bowler, but Umar Gul, he's done a job. 13 from... should get a couple at least. Again, he gets...
That brings to an end your primetime news bulletin for this Thursday evening. Thank you very much for joining us. As usual, you can log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk to follow up on any of the stories that you have watched today or missed out today. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
And I'm Shahan Jurangpati. Good night and take care.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.